Hello and welcome to the video tutorial for song number 10, the final song in my free beginner songbook, Vivaldi's Spring. This is such a fun and popular tune and I cannot wait for you to learn it. I want you to take a second and just reflect on how far you've come, how many songs you've been able to play, how many techniques you've been able to learn and improve, and in really not that long of a time. This really shows that step-by-step guidance is the quickest way, the most efficient way, and the least stressful way to truly improve on your instrument. If you've loved this course, first of all, please make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And second of all, I highly recommend checking out Learn Violin Online. Learn Violin Online has literally hundreds of videos that are more detailed, more in-depth than these, and you are going to learn so much more than I could ever offer here for free. Additionally, LVO has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you try it and for whatever reason decide it's not the right fit, you can cancel at any time within that 30 days and you'll get your money back. All right, enough chit chat about LVO, but I can really hope you'll consider joining. Let's get into some spring. Okay, so the first thing to point out is that we're in the key of A major. So we have three sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. This is not the first time that we've seen A major. That was like one of the first keys, if not the very first key that we learned. However, this is the first time that we will have to play D string notes in the key of A major. And so what you need to know about that is that you have to play a high third finger on the D string because that's the note G. And in the key of A major, we have to play a G sharp. Additionally, we have a couple of rhythmic patterns that we haven't covered yet. So in measure 1, the second beat, you'll see that we have an 8th note followed by 2 16th notes. Now we've covered 8th notes by themselves, we covered 16th notes by themselves, but we've never seen that rhythmic pattern before together. So that will sound like this. Long, short, short. Another rhythmic pattern we haven't introduced specifically happens in measure 2. We have a dotted quarter note followed by 2 16th notes. So we have talked about the dotted quarter note followed by the 8th note, but not 2 16th notes. So essentially those 2 16th notes are just going to be twice as fast as the 8th note. Now look in measure 8. Here we have a syncopation. So at the last 2 beats of the measure, again, we've covered 8th notes by themselves, we've covered quarter notes by themselves, but we've never seen a syncopation. And syncopation is just a fancy word for the big beat, the long note. In this case, the E is not on the beat, right? So you're going to play the F sharp on the big beat 3, and then the E quarter note will be on the and, okay? And then finally, this isn't a rhythmic pattern, but we do have a trill. So this happens in measure 10, and then again in the very last measure of the piece. So a trill essentially means to oscillate or move back and forth between 2 notes very quickly. And you always trill to the note that's written, or sorry, the note above the note that's written. So both of these trills are the note B. So we're going to trill between B and C sharp, B and high 2. Should sound something like that. You're going to want to keep your 1 down and move your 2 up and down as fast as possible. There's no certain amount of times you have to go back and forth. It's however many you can get within that 1 beat. That was a lot, I know. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. So again, we have a pickup here, and we'll start up, open A. C sharp, we'll play that 3 times. Then we have those 2 16ths we talked about, B, A. I would suggest to use a 4th finger here. If you'll recall in the previous video, we said we want to stay on the same string as much as possible, so that will help us stay on the A string. E, D. Measure 2, if you'll notice, is actually the exact same as measure 1. So again, the 3 C sharps. Down the scale, B, A. down the scale, E, D, C sharp. Here, keep the 2 down, play 3. Keep that down, play 4. Because guess what? We're coming right back. 3, 2, 1. High 3, G sharp, B, or sorry, excuse me, E, first finger. Don't forget about that high 3rd finger on the D string. If you do, it'll sound really wonky. And then we essentially repeat. We play the same thing again. So A, C sharp, down the scale, 4th finger, down the scale, C sharp, down the scale, 4th finger, C sharp, D, E, D, C sharp, B. Let's also touch on the dynamics. So that's something we briefly mentioned in other tunes, but I've told you not to worry about them. But here I do think the dynamics make a big difference because you're just playing the same thing twice in a row. So we want to play the first time loud and the second time soft. So the easiest way to do that is just to change the amount of bow you're using. So when you want to play loud, forte, you're going to use a lot of bow. When you want to play soft, piano, you're not going to use that much bow. Measure 7. Open A, 4th finger E, D, C sharp, D, open E, F sharp, which is 1 on E, and open E again. Then we'll repeat that. Open A, 4th finger E, D, C sharp, D, open E, F sharp, E, open A, F sharp, 1st finger, open E, D, 3rd finger, C sharp, B, open A, trill, so it's B, C sharp, as many times as you can, open A. And then it just repeats, okay? So it looks longer than it is, basically, right? It's just 2 parts that repeats. I always like to look for similarities and patterns because it breaks the piece down and it makes it not look so scary, right? So A, 4th finger E, D, C sharp, D, open E, F sharp, E, open A, E, 4th finger, D, C sharp, D, open E, 1st finger, open E, open A, F sharp, 1st finger, open E, D, 3rd finger, C sharp, B, open A, trill, B and C sharp, you just played Vivaldi Spring. I'll put my metronome on now. This is 50 beats per minute. 1, 2, ready, go. lessons. You went from total beginner, total violin new, to playing Vivaldi's Spring. And you did that all with my Learn Violin Online free course. Let your imagination run wild right now. What is your goal? What is your dream piece? You can do that with my help inside of Learn Violin Online.